Oh yes, today is a very powerful video. Let's look into what we have for you. According to the heading says, Igbo funeral ceremony in 1930 before the white man came to the Igbo land, how they buried their loved ones, and what they used to do once persons die and what changed for now. So the way the Igbo used to bury their loved ones once the persons die, and then what they used to do in today's video is a very powerful video. It's a mind-blowing video. So make sure you watch it to the end and don't skip any part of it, because this is a way to learn and to understand what that changed. What changed, and then what did they used to do before then, and before the white men came to the land and take over. And this our brother is going to explain to us a lot of things that is happening, and a lot of things that we're supposed to know as an Igbo and then as a people, because there are a lot of things that people will come, they will tell you no, and there are a lot of things that people will come, they will tell you okay, look at the way they used to do it. But it is good for us to go back to the pre-colonial masters, to go back to the beginning when everything was, and how they do some certain things during those days. In fact, it is a very powerful video, and it is a very powerful mind-blowing something that everybody would like to watch. If you like what we are doing here, you can also support us through your support. We can use it to move the next chapter. You can also support by liking and by subscribing for us, and make sure you share it to every platform, to everyone so that they will learn. Because in today's world, in today's curriculum, not everything that the teacher will teach you, and not every school teaches history. So it is very good for us to learn our past and for us to learn where we are coming from. That is very, very important. And just make sure you watch it so that you understand things that happens and the thing that is happening today. Thank you.
When a person died, news of the passing was announced to relatives, friends, and the village, often accompanied by symbolic gunshots. This remarkable footage was filmed in 1930 by the Anglican missionary George Thomas Basden, who was working for the Church Missionary Society in Nigeria and was based in Onitsha at the time. Nearly a century later, it offers a rare glimpse into traditional Igbo funeral rites and beliefs about death, the spirit world, and the journey of the human soul. To the traditional Igbo, death was not seen as the end of existence. It was understood as a transition from the physical world to the spiritual realm. The dead were believed to continue existing among the ancestors, watching over their descendants and maintaining a connection with the living. Because of this belief, proper funeral rites were considered essential. They helped guide the deceased safely into the spirit world and ensured that the bond between the living and the dead remained intact. Basden would later observe the importance attached to burial ceremonies by the Igbo. In his book, Among the Igbos, he wrote that the aged last solemn wish is that the funeral rites shall be on such a scale that he may be spared all feelings of shame when he meets his former companions. End quote. In traditional Igbo society, burial was never simply about disposing of a body. It was a public statement about the life of the deceased, their achievements, their titles, and their place within the community. The funeral reflected deep respect for the deceased and a commitment to ensuring they are properly welcomed into the spirit world. When a person died, news of the passing was announced to relatives, friends, and the village, often accompanied by symbolic gunshots. Family members then began preparations for the burial and the ceremonies that would follow. The deceased was usually buried within the family compound. Many Igbo families preferred to keep their dead close to home, often placing them in specially prepared tombs or burial vaults within the compound. In some cases, the burial took place inside the person's own house. This practice reinforced the belief that the ancestors remained close to the family and continued to take an interest in the affairs of the living. A proper burial was considered necessary because the Igbo believed that a well-honored spirit would find peace among the ancestors. A neglected or improper burial, on the other hand, could leave a spirit restless and unable to complete its journey. Funeral rites, therefore, serve both a spiritual and social purpose. A crucial part of the process was the ceremony known as Ikwa Ozu. Although it is sometimes called a second burial in English, this is not strictly correct. Instead, it was the grand ceremony that formally honored the deceased and completed the mourning process. Through Ikwa Ozu, the family fulfilled its cultural obligations and publicly celebrated the life of the person who had died. Depending on the titles and status of the deceased, Ikwa Ozu could last from a single day to several days. During this period, relatives, friends, in-laws, age-grade associations, and visitors traveled from far and near to take part in the ceremonies. The event usually includes the breaking of kola nuts. Elders offered prayers, invoked blessings, and remembered the deceased before sharing the kola nut among those present. This ritual marked the formal opening of the gathering. Throughout the ceremony, gun salutes were fired using traditional Dane guns. The number and frequency of the salutes often reflected the social standing of the deceased. Music filled the air as drummers, singers, and dancers performed in honor of the departed. One of the most striking features of many traditional Igbo funerals was the appearance of masquerades. These masquerades were more than entertainers. They carried deep spiritual meaning and represented the presence and participation of the spirit world in the funeral rites. Their performances reminded everyone that death did not separate the living and the dead completely. Different groups within the community also participated through dances, songs, and cultural displays. Age grades, women's associations, and family groups each played their role in honoring the deceased. Guests gathered under designated canopies according to family relationships and social groups, while villagers freely moved between the various activities taking place. Food and drink were provided in abundance. Animals were slaughtered, palm wine was shared, and visitors were entertained throughout the celebration. In many cases, in-laws and visitors arrived with their own dancers and performers, adding to the festive atmosphere. Family members and friends often joined the dancing, turning the funeral into a celebration of a life well lived. In some communities, personal belongings of the deceased were also distributed among relatives. These items served as reminders of the person's life and as symbols of inheritance and continuity within the family. What we see in this footage is therefore much more than a funeral. It is a reflection of a traditional Igbo worldview in which life, death, ancestry, and community are deeply connected. These ceremonies were designed not only to mourn the dead, but also to celebrate their achievements, honor their memory, and ensure their successful transition into the world of the ancestors. Nearly 100 years after this film was recorded, it remains a valuable window into the beliefs and customs that shaped traditional Igbo society and its understanding of life beyond death.
Oh yes, this is very, very nice, very wonderful. We have seen the whole thing and the way everything was happening then, but not today. Many things has changed today. Many things has changed. Let's look into the religion of the Igbos during the before the Christianity came into Igbo land. Let's look into. Make sure you watch it because this is a very interesting video, and you will learn from it, and you will learn and you thank us after you learn finish. Then as you're about watching, like, subscribe, and make sure you share it for everyone to see things going on. Just watch and see.
Millennia before the advent of colonialism, the Igbo people of present-day southeastern Nigeria had a surprisingly well-structured religious system. It guided how they understood life, death, morality, and their place in the world. In pre-colonial Igbo land, religion was not separate from daily life. It shaped how people farmed, traded, married, judged disputes, and related with one another. But what did they believe in? How many gods did they have? Was their religion a form of idol worship? This video explains the key ideas behind traditional Igbo religion. It looks at their worldview, their understanding of the spiritual world, and the beliefs that guided their way of life. From the 15th century, the Igbo religion and culture was degraded and or misinterpreted by the European intruders with the specific purpose of legitimizing their own religion and using it to manipulate the people. The result was that after a century and a half of colonialism and evangelism, the Igbo people lost almost all knowledge of their beliefs and their spiritual worldview. Now, scholars are trying to rediscover and piece together the true elements of the Igbo belief system devoid of colonial tropes. The traditional Igbo worldview is built on the idea that the physical and spiritual worlds are closely connected. What happens in the visible world is often influenced by forces in the invisible world. Igbo spirituality starts with the basic principle that the world was created by Chukwu, the supreme spirit of infinite knowledge and wisdom. The Igbo believed that life is not random. Events such as success, failure, illness, and death all have meanings. These meanings can often be traced to spiritual causes. Because of this, people lived carefully, always aware that their actions had consequences beyond what could be seen. At the center of the Igbo worldview is balance. Life is expected to follow a natural order. When this order is disturbed, problems arise. In this case, religion is used to maintain harmony between humans, nature, and the spiritual world. The Igbo traditional religion, Ordinani, centers on the supreme creator god, Chukwu, alongside reverence for nature spirits, ancestors, and the personal spiritual guardian. Ordinani is more than a religion. It is the accumulation of Igbo spiritual beliefs and knowledge systems. Ordinani can be said to be the Igbo way of being. At its core, it emphasizes living in harmony with the earth, honoring one's ancestors, and maintaining spiritual balance through daily rituals and ethical conduct. For the traditional Igbo man, religion is life and life is religion. Every cultural practice of the Igbo man reflects his religious inclination. Thus, the traditional Igbo man does not practice religion, he lives it. At the center of the traditional Igbo religion is the belief in a supreme being known as Chukwu. Chukwu is the creator of the world and the source of all life. Everything that exists comes from him and nothing is outside his control. The importance of Chukwu is seen in Igbo names. Many names express belief in his sovereignty. For example, names like Chukwuka, which means Chukwu is supreme, show that the people recognize him as the highest authority. A key idea in Igbo spirituality, which we will come to later, is that all things have a life force called chi. Every person, object, and element in nature has its own chi. Chukwu is understood as the total of all this chi. In simple terms, Chukwu represents the unity of all creation. This belief shows that the Igbo see the world as one connected system where everything is linked. Chukwu is believed to be all-powerful, all-knowing, and present everywhere. He is invincible and is said to dwell above the sky, yet he is not distant from human life, as he is seen as the ultimate source of justice and order in the world. This particular part of their belief connects to another important aspect of Igbo society, which is the absence of a single central human ruler. Traditionally, the Igbo did not have kings in the way many other societies did. Instead, they believed that their true king was Chukwu. He was seen as the highest authority over all, and people were expected to live in a way that respected this. In this way, Chukwu was not just a religious figure, but also the foundation of moral and social order. He represented justice, authority, and the unity of life itself. Even though Chukwu is the center of Igbo religion, he is not usually approached directly. Instead, people relate to him through spiritual beings and intermediaries. This structure does not reduce his importance. It simply reflects how worship is organized in Igbo society. This brings us to one of the most important concepts in Igbo belief system, the chi. There is the tendency among Igbo scholars to describe chi as a personal god or guardian spirit. But chi is actually more than that. It is one's personal spiritual force, onye na chia. Chi also encompasses one's luck or destiny. Better still, it can be said that the chi is the custodian of one's luck or destiny. Success or failure can be linked to one's chi. But in character with general Igbo thought on the relationship between man and the supernatural, good or bad chi is not an irrevocable gift. A bad chi can be pacified in order to reverse the ill hands of fate. It is believed that a person can work hard and propitiate their chi to achieve success. In the same way, a good chi has to be regularly placated in order to keep up its benevolence. This belief encourages personal responsibility. It teaches that while spiritual forces exist, human effort still matters. The traditional Igbo system of worship involves elements known as alusi. Alusi are revered as deities or spirits that embody natural forces, moral principles, and various aspects of human life, serving as dynamic manifestations of the divine. They are not independent entities. They function as intermediaries between the supreme being, Chukwu, and human society. These deities, acting as spirit forces, personify elemental powers such as fire, water, earth, and air, which govern creativity, fertility, motherhood, and harmony. One of the most important is Allah. Allah is the goddess of the earth, morality, and fertility. She is deeply respected because she governs both the land and human behavior. Crimes such as murder or breaking of certain taboos are seen as offenses against Allah. Other alusi are connected to rivers, forest, markets, and war. Each community may have its own important deity. These deities are not just abstract ideas, they are part of daily life. People offer sacrifices, hold festivals, and follow rules connected to them. Through the Alusi, the Igbo explained natural events and maintained order in society. The concepts of Ofo and Ogu are central to Igbo morality. Ofo represents truth, authority, and justice. It is often symbolized by a staff held by elders or leaders. Ogu represents innocence and righteousness. When someone claims to have clean hands, they are said to stand on Ogu. Together, Ofo and Ogu form the basis of justice. Disputes are settled with the belief that truth will always prevail. Falsehood and wrongdoing are believed to bring spiritual consequences. These ideas help maintain order in society without the need for a centralized authority. In traditional Igbo society, religion was not just a belief, it was something people practiced every day. These practices were mainly carried out through rituals and sacrifices. People performed them to ask for favor, to give thanks, or to restore balance when something went wrong in their lives or in the community. These rituals were not done randomly. They followed clear rules that had been passed down over generations. They were often led by trained individuals who understood these rules. This is the Dibia. In the simplest definition, the Dibia is a master of knowledge and wisdom. He guided people on what to do, when to do it, and how to do it properly. This ensured that the ritual achieved its purpose. Offerings were a key part of these practices. People offered animals, food, drinks, and other items to spiritual beings and ancestors. These offerings were symbolic. They were a way of showing respect, gratitude, or making a request. The goal was to maintain harmony between the physical world and the spiritual world. It is important to understand that the Igbo did not worship objects or idols. Early missionaries often misunderstood what they saw and described it as idol worship, but this was not correct. When a person prayed at a shrine or in a sacred grove, they were not worshiping the physical object in front of them. The object only served as a point of contact or focus. A simple way to understand this is to compare it to how some Christians use statues. Seeing someone pray in front of a statue does not mean they are worshiping the statue itself. In the same way, Igbo religious objects were not seen as gods, they were symbols. This idea is clearly expressed in an Igbo proverb which says that the unenlightened person picks up the carving of a deity and believes that he's carrying a deity. He's wasting his time. That hunk of wood is not a deity. If you want that deity, you go to God. That is where the deity resides. Festivals were also a major part of religious practice. These were times when the whole community came together. Festivals included rituals, celebrations, and communal activities. They helped to strengthen shared beliefs and reminded people of their connection to the spiritual world. Traditional Igbo religion included many taboos. These were rules that guided behavior. Breaking a taboo was not just a social offense, but a spiritual one. For example, certain actions could be seen as offenses against Allah or other deities. When this happened, rituals were required to cleanse the land and restore balance. Taboos helped maintain discipline and respect within the community. They also reinforced the idea that actions have consequences beyond the physical world. Another important part of Igbo religion is the belief in ancestors. These are deceased members of the community who lived well and are believed to continue existing in the spiritual world. Ancestors are not forgotten. They are respected and remembered. They are believed to watch over their families and guide them. People communicate with them through prayers, offerings, and rituals. The idea of ancestors creates a strong link between the past and the present. It also encourages good behavior. People believe that living well ensures that they too will be honored after death. Death in Igbo belief is not the end of existence. It is a transition from the physical world to the spiritual one. A good death is important. Those who live well and die properly are believed to join the ancestors. Those who do not may not receive proper recognition. Funeral rites are therefore very important. They ensure that the dead are properly honored and accepted into the spiritual world. This belief strengthens the connection between the living and the dead. Traditional Igbo religion before colonialism was a complete system that explained life, guided behavior, and maintained social order. It was based on the belief that the visible and invisible worlds are connected and that balance must be maintained. True belief in Chukwu and the place of Alusi, ancestors, and one's chi, the Igbo created a system that gave meaning to life and responsibility to individuals. Even today, many of these ideas continue to influence Igbo culture and identity. They remain an important part of understanding the history and philosophy of the Igbo people.
Oh yes, that is it. In fact, this one brother, he have explained everything the way it is. He have explained everything. If you look at it, it's just almost the same thing with the Christian religion and the old traditional religion of the Igbos. Those is known as Omenana. So there are a lot of ways of the people used to worship then, but the issue of Omenana, everybody respect it to date. So in fact, it's a very, very interesting video. Very, very interesting video. And he has already explained everything the way it is. I would like your comments down below what you think about the whole thing happening. Like, subscribe, and make sure you share it to everyone, to every platform, so that for people to learn and for people to understand what they are and what they're doing and the things that they're supposed to do, and to also to learn what happened during those days and what is going on as for today's world. Thank you.